So what if for the next 30 days, you couldn't buy anything new without giving something away first? I want to walk you through a personal experiment based on this really old Japanese idea called the one in, one out rule. It's a simple principle, but it has the power to completely change how you look at, well, everything you own.
The rule itself couldn't be simpler, really. For every new thing that comes through your door, one old thing has to go out. It sounds pretty easy on the surface, but as you're about to see, this one little rule creates this massive ripple effect you just don't see coming.
Okay, so the first week of trying this, apparently it's brutal. It really forces you to face a hard truth. Most of us are living on autopilot, just grabbing stuff without really thinking about it. And it's such a huge contrast to traditional Japanese homes, where, every single object has a purpose. It's earned its spot.
And this just perfectly illustrates the point. In that first week, a realization hits. There are 17 coffee mugs in the kitchen. 17! The rule immediately makes you stop and ask, how did this even happen? And more importantly, why?
And that's when the real light bulb goes off. The purchases, they weren't about necessity. Not at all. They were about emotion. That little hit of dopamine, the feeling you think an object is going to give you. And this rule, it just acts like a circuit breaker for that impulse.
And here we have it, the core lesson that pops up almost right away. Your whole focus shifts from just, decluttering your junk drawer, and it lands squarely on conscious buying. The real challenge isn't figuring out what to get rid of, it's justifying what you're about to bring in.
All right, let's fast forward to week 2 and see how this starts to build. A new jacket catches your eye. But with this rule, you can't just buy it. No way. You have to literally stand there and decide which one of your current jackets you're willing to say goodbye to. It completely transforms an impulse buy into a super deliberate choice. So after standing in that store for 20 minutes, scrolling through photos of the closet back home, there wasn't a single jacket worth sacrificing. And the result? The new jacket stayed on the rack, and that's $180 saved. That's a real, tangible outcome of this new way of thinking. And this really gets to the philosophy behind it all. See, it's not about depriving yourself, it's about elevating your choices. It pulls from this Zen-inspired idea that every possession is actually a responsibility, which makes the act of getting something new feel almost sacred. By week 3, something deeper starts to shift. The mindset evolves from just being practical to something more philosophical. And it's guided by this beautiful Japanese concept known as mono no aware. Mono no aware. It's this gentle awareness that nothing lasts forever. It's this understanding that every single thing we own is just passing through our lives. And that perspective, it makes you think so much deeper before you buy something. You start asking, is this going to add real value, or is it just more stuff?
Then, in week 4, there's this big breakthrough. A gift comes in, which means something has to go. An old, unloved decorative item, one that's been sitting there for years, gets given to a friend who absolutely adores it. And that feeling, the joy of seeing an object finally being used and loved instead of just hoarded, that becomes its own reward.
You know what's wild? An unexpected side effect started to pop up. Decision fatigue just disappeared. With fewer clothes to choose from in the closet, mornings got simpler. With fewer gadgets in the kitchen, cooking became easier. It turns out, having way too much of everything can actually be a huge burden. And the numbers, well, they tell a pretty powerful story. Over the entire 30-day experiment, 12 different things were considered for purchase. But once they were filtered through the one in, one out rule, only 3 were actually bought. Just 3 carefully chosen items that genuinely made life better. And the financial impact of all that discipline? A grand total of $640 saved in a single month. Now, that wasn't even the goal of the experiment, but it's a pretty amazing side effect of living with more intention, right? But look, the transformation went so much deeper than just saving money. It sparked this whole new appreciation for what was already there. A feeling that's perfectly captured by another Japanese concept, mottainai.
Mottainai is that deep, gut-level feeling of regret you get about waste. It's what makes you look around and actually use what you already have. That book you've been meaning to read for years, you finally read it. That nice kitchen pan collecting dust, you start using it every day. You start finding incredible value in what's already yours. So here's the profound realization in all of this. Our modern culture is constantly screaming at us that happiness is just one more purchase away. But this experiment, it taps into an opposite, much more ancient wisdom, that real happiness is found in appreciating what you have, not constantly chasing what you don't. By the end of those 30 days,
47 items had left the home. And what's incredible is that it wasn't done out of some obligation to the rule anymore. It was done out of a genuine, deep desire for more space.
And that desire for space, well, that leads us to the final and maybe the most profound Japanese concept that emerged from this journey: Ma.
Ma is the power and the beauty that you find in empty space. It's that feeling of clarity you get when a room isn't cluttered. It's the physical, the mental, and the emotional breathing room that's created when you let go of all the unnecessary stuff. Suddenly, the gaps between things become just as important as the things themselves.
So you can see the total mindset shift here. It's this incredible move away from mindless autopilot and towards sacred choices. You stop buying feelings and start valuing intention. And you stop seeing abundance as the goal and start finding this incredible richness in simplicity.
Really, the ultimate takeaways from this 30-day journey are simple, but they are so powerful. We don't actually need more things. What we really desperately need is more space for what actually matters, more clarity, more peace, and above all, way more intention in our lives.
So in the end, it becomes crystal clear that this rule, it's not a restriction at all, it's liberation. It's freedom from that endless, exhausting cycle of wanting, buying, storing, and then ultimately forgetting.
It's a really powerful idea. And it leaves us with one final, very personal question to think about as you look around your own life. Just ask yourself, what would you give away first?